Welcome everyone to the very first episode of Pitch About It, the show where we prove that bad things could be good and good things could be great. I'm Dylan Cork, and I'm here with
Sebastian Molina
and
Josh Laskowski.
And today we'll be talking Avengers Infinity War. Okay, starting out, how would you guys rate Infinity War? On a scale of 1 to 10.5.
The first time seeing Infinity War in theaters, I walked away legitimately in tears. So,
You're a Spider-Man fan, though.
I'm a major Spider-Man fan.
So seeing you do a guy like that would definitely...
I saw my childhood fade to dust.
So wait, would that bring the rating up or down for you?
Oh, it hurt just right. I would say it's like 8.9.
8.9.
For me, I walked out of the theater and saw it as a solid 8. There were a few things in the movie that could have been adjusted.
And I thought it was the worst movie. No, I'm kidding. But I didn't really feel everyone dying. I was like, okay, they're coming back. It's fine. After Black Panther went out, there's no way.
But to let it sink in.
No.
You had to, sit in the ride and experience the journey. It's like a comic book. Like, you know it's going to end where the hero comes back. But when you see Captain America die in the Civil War, comic-wise,
Yeah.
that's heartbreaking.
Is it though?
Have a heart.
I will replace it for this one episode.
No, but I do feel like that's two aspects of the movie, like critically judging it for like its plotting characters and whatnot,
Yeah.
and then like the ride portion of it, where like you just watch the movie solely for just watching the movie and going through its emotional experiences and whatnot.
Yeah, like the idea of, what's the word for it? The cinematic word for like taking you out of reality and putting you into the movie. It's like,
You're the cinematic arts guy.
so Sebastian, that's what I was hoping.
Fourth dimension.
Let's call it the fourth dimension.
The
from
fourth
now.
wall.
I don't believe the fourth wall.
We're never going to change it from the fourth wall from now on. If we ever come up with the words, no.
No, the fourth wall.
Perspective.
I think we need to get on topic.
We should get on top.
Okay, good.
But,
Cork, give us some things.
okay. So, starting off, if we could change anything in this movie, what would we change?
Thanos has hair.
Thanos has hair.
First thing, Thanos has hair.
Okay, but what color hair? That's what's important. He's got a purple
Obviously,
face.
it's gotta be blue. Like, just keep
Are
it
you sure?
color. Blue and purple. Both of you guys are darker skin, so you have darker hair. You can't just have.
I don't know. I feel like yellow hair would go well with the purple complexion.
If I could change one thing. If I could change one thing. Now, no matter what, like, I appreciate the movie for what it is, but the one big thing is definitely the beginning. Every, I almost said Star Wars movie.
Every Star Wars movie starts off with the opening crawl saying, "This is the Avengers."
Every like Marvel movie, at least some of the great ones, always start out with the villain. And yes, like we got Spider-Man. I feel like all of the Captain Americas.
I think
Except Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
Winter Soldier does not. Iron Man kinda does
Doctor
for.
Strange.
At least Iron Man 2 definitely does. Iron Man 2 and 3.
So like,
But I felt like that beginning was crucial for establishing this character because, like, we've only seen hints and teases of him.
very true.
And so, like, this movie's like, bam, here he is. He just beat up
Apparently,
Hulk and Thor, and he just killed Heimdall. And he's like, get out of here.
Man, Idris Elba, he died too soon.
He was my bus driver, really.
I saw that.
Yeah, that was interesting.
But yeah, perhaps maybe not right at the start, but I definitely want backstory on how he got the Power Stone.
Yeah,
It just said, oh, he got it.
Yeah, the fact that Homeboy legitimately destroyed Xandar for a rock. Like, we had all of Guardians of the Galaxy 1 completely destroyed because of Thanos.
and they don't even really show it.
And, like,
They don't even mention it.
Like, we could get some good times. We could get a little bit of Easter eggs, maybe like hint at Nova surviving.
Yeah.
But, like,
I feel like they could cut out some of Gamora's youth to replace it with that.
yeah. Well,
We didn't need much.
I mean, that wasn't that impactful.
Yeah.
Honestly.
How do you guys feel about the Gamora and Thanos relationship in this one? Like, in the previous movies, it's very, like, I don't know, that she's very, like, anti-him and doesn't like him and absolutely hates him. And then in this movie, it's like, well, he was an okay guy at times. Like, where'd that come from?
no,
It seems a little almost jarring.
I wouldn't say Gamora had any warmness to him because literally, like, when she's imprisoned, like, Thanos gives her food and she straight chucks it and says, "I hate you."
That is true.
But, like, I feel like it's useful because A, it keeps Gamora as a even though she's an alien. It keeps her human.
Yeah.
If she just was like, oh yeah, I can't wait to kill my dad, like, I mean, a little too dark for her.
I mean, she did pretty good on her.
And she did
try a couple of times. But, like, she kills Thanos and then starts crying. And it's like, I thought you hated this guy. Where'd that come from? Like, I wouldn't say she didn't need to be emotionless, but crying is a little much, I think.
Perhaps.
Like, perhaps a shedded tear like Thanos.
Yeah, just one tear.
Like Thanos himself. Just one single tear when she dies.
Okay. If you could bring back, in that movie, if you could throw in one random, like, cameo, it could either be a cameo or it could actually be useful to the plot.
Stanley.
Oh,
Definitely. Rest in peace, but he should have been more useful for the plot. He could have just gone up to him and decimated, takes his glove.
Like from
Excelsior.
That'd be awesome. We miss you, Stanley. Now.
Whoa.
But like, if you could bring any character, like I would love to have brought in Korg and make, like, even if he had to die, no one wants to see Korg die. But like,
imagine Korg dying like that. Just punches him and he just falls into a pile of rocks.
like yeah,
That'd be
it would be like just before Vision dies, like we crush War Machine, we throw the Hulkbuster into the wall, and he just punches through Korg.
Korg's like a bunch of rocks flying everywhere.
It's not just a ball.
Knocks out Falcon.
It's a rock. Yours would be Korg and Meek. What about you, Sebastian? Who would you bring in if you could bring in any character?
Because there's a lot of unused people. Like
there is, and I feel like in Guardians 2, they hinted at the Celestials and mentioning eternity. But I don't know that the Celestials. I think the Celestials would have been too much. I would have liked to seen the X-Men in this one.
X-Men would have been
Or
cool.
perhaps even like Silver Surfer.
Silver Surfer would have been useful.
That would have been a random but useful character.
Silver Surfer just saves everybody and then
Like
kills
he's like in the comics because he's the one who goes and lands the Strange's house. Like, oh, Thanos is coming.
What if he killed Thanos and then went, oh yeah, Galactus is going to come destroy your world?
Oh yeah, Galactus is gonna eat your world.
If Thanos dies, Silver Surfer says, "We're in the end game."
Yes. Actually, I think I have two for this one. So one of them, I wanted to see the Fantastic Four. Just show up, but in a very oddly specific way. For Chris Evans, Captain America to die.
And
the original cast, the first two Fantastic Four movies, show up with Chris Evans as a Human Torch. They'd be like, that's oddly familiar. They defeat Thanos, the Fantastic Four leave, they bring Steve back to life. And then they never see Chris Evans ever again as Human Torch.
He turns into Michael B. Jordan. And then T'Challa comes in, like, did I kill you earlier?
Yes. Or my other one would be when Strange is looking through all the possible realities, he sees Deadpool in one of them and references him in some way.
I see a red J-hole.
I see Spider-Man, but not PG.
He's carrying katana.
And he has baby legs.
Yeah, that's a horrifying image.
What do you guys think the theme of the movie is? Like
Sacrifice.
Sacrifice?
Without a doubt, because like Thanos is willing to sacrifice almost everything to get what he believes is needed in the universe, and like the heroes pull their punches, so to speak, and like pull back so much on the fact that they have to sacrifice some things in order to win, and they're just like, oh no, we can save everyone and still win, and they lost everyone essentially.
That's definitely the theme that you mentioned. It's the first line of the movie. It's, I know what it's like to lose.
Yeah.
Like, you know, for 10 years we now have advertisements of like MCU being for 10 years. We've never seen a hero fail.
Yeah.
And to have the Avengers.
Shut up!
That's unfortunate.
It's probably those people making out again.
Probably him. You want to go for him?
For the listeners, we witnessed a couple making out earlier, right before recording.
It was highly unfortunate, but also highly humorous.
Because the woman noticed that we were noticing.
She stood in shock.
3 ethnic men watching a couple make out. It was very unfortunate.
Couple, if you're listening, you're welcome.
I feel like we'll have to edit this out.
No, it's staying in.
Okay. But yeah, back to the point. 10 years, we've had, superheroes saving the day. We've never once seen the heroes not only lose, but be hopeless.
And finally having to avenge something.
Right.
Properly.
His name.
That was the point, was to walk away wounded.
Yeah.
You finish a comic book and you see, your hero dies and you have to wait 2 months, in our case 6,
Apparently.
to get closure or some sort of revenge. And that's going to be the best part about Endgame, is we get the sweet satisfaction of potentially killing Thanos.
That is true.
If Thanos isn't brutally killed in the next movie, I will be upset.
I want him to lose both arms and just not be able to do anything anymore.
He survives, but he still loses.
Rocket's happy he has 2 arms now.
Speaking of that, do you guys think Bucky's arm should have stayed when he disappeared? So that Rocket would at least have that after losing Groot.
I think that would have been an awesome little addition, just like for the arm to go thunk on the ground.
Rocket's weeping over.
He's just like weeping and you're just caressing.
And Groot's like over in the corner, what about me?
Groot's dead, man. He's gone.
Steve Rogers is weeping over Groot, and Rocket is weeping over his arm.
Do you feel they hyped up Bucky and then didn't use him enough? Because they hyped him up in the end credit scene of Black Panther, and then they have a scene briefly in Infinity War where he's like, a war's coming, get ready, and brings him the metal arm. But then they never really use him.
I feel like ever since the Winter Soldier book, he degraded severely.
Definitely.
In the Winter Soldier, he was a formidable foe. You don't mess with that guy. He's an assassin. And in Civil War, he's just oh, I'm nice. I kind of lost some of my abilities.
I lost my arm and my abilities.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna throw punches. And it's you don't see the same assassin. You just see this soldier who's just fighting. And I don't feel like that he has to be under the spell though to remember all that his training has taught him. I feel like it should still stick with him.
Yeah, it should.
And in you said, and I get it. Infinity War had a ton of casts.
Yeah.
In characters that the Russos choose. Yeah, the Russos had to juggle, and so it's hard for them to get certain screen time. But I do feel like instead of Bucky being on the ground stabbing some aliens, he could have been more useful.
Yeah.
Maybe introduce him into the cap reveal.
Yeah. Or even like you said, with the entire point of him not supposedly being able to remember all those skills, he does say he remembers every murder he committed, so he should remember the skills.
Yeah, and it didn't look like he did much. It looked like he fought like a one-armed man.
Well, I hate to break it to you.
So this movie had a huge cast. They somehow pulled it off with all these characters. Do you think there were any things they should have omitted for something more?
Honestly, that is the one moment I can add or suggest a lot of things, but considering the time frame, I feel like they did a great job of being okay, this is exactly what it needs to say.
Yeah.
And then they move on. Because, I would love to have more Thanos background. I would love to have more, witty dialogue between Thor and the Guardian.
But you don't know what to give up for it?
Yeah,
You don't know what to sacrifice maybe for it?
You don't have the strength.
I don't know what it's like to lose.
I was thinking about that one, and I think they kind of forced the Vision and Wanda relationship into this movie because they vaguely set it up.
How that's possible.
But they spent at least 10 minutes on it, and it seems almost other than her having to sacrifice him at the end, it's kind of.
I remember in Age of Ultron, Maria Hill's he's fast and she's weird, and she must be weird if she is in love with a robot.
Listen, we don't trade lives. Not even robot lives.
But see, that is useful to the plot because, for the comic book viewer,
it's a robot.
Josh, you specifically, how do you like a robot?
I kind of like them pretty big, nice USB port.
Are they cool metal or warm metal?
Water cooled.
I need it warm with one of those water filters in the back. A nice exhaust fan.
Okay, I can feel
just
that.
Just to really come up to her.
So I started thinking about this. Do you think these movies kind of... I noticed it after looking back at older ones, but you think they kind of undo previous movies' accomplishments? Like you said earlier, how the entire point of Guardians was protect the stone on Xandar, and then Thanos just wrecks it and we never even get to see it.
There are some continuity errors, like if you look at any like Instagram posts, like there's plenty of critics.
Yeah, there's always the little ones.
So like stuff like that, yeah, you can avoid stuff like that. But probably, yeah, all the Guardians movies are very, very moot because of Thanos.
But I was thinking like even Rhodey being crippled and like yeah, he got the robot legs, but he should be a little bit more difficult, or like Thor's eye being taken out and then immediately going, here's a fake eye, put it back in.
That's especially where it came from.
Oh boy, yeah. Who do you think the best character in this movie is, if you had to pick one?
Oh, Thor, without question.
So I totally agree. Thor has the best character arc, probably comparable to Thanos.
Yeah.
Thor definitely arced really well in this movie, continuing from Ragnarok. Because like in Thor 1, he arced, and then Thor 2.
That's his awkward cousin. We don't talk about Thor.
Well, it's the combination of Thor and 2. So there's Thor and then the sequel, Thor.
But in Thor the Dark World, and then Avengers, and then Avengers Age of Ultron, he was static, and he just, like, he didn't change or anything. Like, honestly, like, the main character arc in Thor 2 was Loki. And he came back.
He died, then came back again.
I know.
Resurrection this time, though.
Oh boy.
Marvel confirmed it.
So
Netflix said nah.
So you both think Thor was the best character in the movie?
I feel like he had the best character arc, and definitely had what this movie's theme was. Like, he lost everything. So it's like he has, like, nothing more to lose. So, like, sacrifice was all he could do. So he's like, I don't have anything to lose besides me, and, like, I don't really care if, like, everyone else did or not. So, like, he was definitely willing to push this theme through.
Yeah, and that was very interesting, especially for a character like him who had lost, at this point now with Loki being gone, his entire family and his weapon and just about everything.
Maybe his best friend, I don't know.
Yeah, everyone's always got his rabbit.
Yeah.
He's got
a space rabbit. I think I'd go best character of the movie, Squidward. Whatever his name. He was good. I just like his lines, like, I will have the pleasure of dying. Have fun.
Not a side villain.
Be happy.
Almost.
Yeah, be happy.
You're gonna be killed.
You've been chosen to die. Whatever he says. I like that. I want you guys to... I was watching it through another time before we started this.
Naturally.
And I noticed some dialogue that was just a little bit off at times.
In the movie?
Yeah.
And here we have our commercial.
We're just going to cut this very long.
Itchy earlobes?
Only on
Do your earlobes get in the way of day-to-day life?
Where did I put this?
Xantax is here to help.
Xantax.
What is that?
Yeah, okay. For example, let me preface this. The entire movie does a good job of overall. Overall is good. Let me put it that way. Dialogue-wise. But there's just a couple of spots like this one where... Actually, you know what, Sebastian? You read these off with me. This will be... I'll try to full screen this for us.
We're in the end game now.
Okay. Who do you want to play, Spider-Man or Stark?
I'll play Spider-Man.
Okay, so first line, Spider-Man.
Okay, so let me just say, if aliens wind up implanting eggs in my chest or something and I eat one of you, I'm sorry.
And I'm going to be Tony Stark.
Okay.
I should preface that before we start. I don't want another single pop culture reference out of you for the rest of the trip. You understand?
I'm trying to say that something is coming.
And I thought, well, it was kind of a funny line. What part of, let me just say, if aliens end up implanting eggs in my chest and I eat one of you guys, I'm sorry, has anything to do with something is coming on any level?
Like, all you have to, because I hate, like, something's coming.
Like, it didn't make much sense.
It made sense in Civil War because he was trying to make a point.
Yeah.
And I get that's what they kind of forced here. It was
a little weird.
Yeah, it was a little weird. But, like, in Civil War, he's like, hey, guys, you see that movie? You know...
what's it called?
Those weird
walker things?
Yeah, the big walker?
Yeah, and, like, he made a point as he was tying them up a little bit.
Yeah, and this time
so it's like, here, it's like, I feel like it's a little forced. It's like, hey, guys, let me make another pop culture reference from the same movie I did earlier when we killed Ebony Maw.
But it doesn't make any sense this time.
Yep.
Another line. You know what, Josh, you want to play Thanos. I know you want to play Thanos. Okay.
This is my Thanos.
Thanos is right here. This line is just a little cheesy to me, so I thought we'd go with it. I'll, again, play Stark. Go ahead.
Stark.
You know me?
I do. You're not the only one cursed with knowledge.
My only curse is you. I just thought it was a kind of a cringy line. This, my only curse is you.
I feel like though that makes sense because Stark has PTSD from Avengers 1.
Yeah.
And like ever since then, he only found out recently that was Thanos.
Yeah, it just seemed a little
Might be cheesy,
little on the nose.
but we are talking about a giant purple Barney coming and destroying half the
That was the
universe.
most beautiful giant purple Josh Brolin Barney we've ever seen.
Josh Brolin.
And definitely Barney is a curse.
Barney Stinson is a curse.
Josh Brolin, if you are listening to this video, please.
This pot.
For the love.
It's not even, not even video.
Ignore the haters. I love you and your weird shaped chin.
So the previous Avengers movie, at least the first one, tends to stick to like one tone. Like it just has one overall tone that kind of meshes all the previous tones.
What, to unite?
It unites them.
Okay.
But I'm thinking with Infinity War, it doesn't seem to stick to one tone as much. It's very jarring almost. Like, there's a scene pretty early on with Iron Man getting on the giant donut flying thing.
Oh, Spider-Man did too.
Spider-Man did too, but in the scene, all you see is Iron Man, and he's talking to Pepper, and it cuts out, and he's really sad. And then we jump to, what's his name, Banner on the ground, about to call Steve looking really sad. And then we cut as Guardians of the Galaxy jamming out. And it's just a really jarring cut to it.
Oh yeah,
And
it's better than Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where every single serious moment is ruined.
oh my gosh, yeah. Funny movie though.
That's amazing. But
The first one's definitely more emotional.
Definitely.
Do you think this movie could have used explaining more things, like the Infinity Stone's power levels and what like they can actually do?
it would have been super convenient because, you know, what actually does the Soul Stone do? It turned like a black hole into bats, and Strange turned it into butterflies. But it's another one of those type things that, like, we don't really know all that Strange could do either. So it's just a time frame thing. If we could get pull a Lord of the Rings and get a 3-hour edition,
oh gosh, no.
I would have loved it.
Well, I mean, the Infinity Stones, or gems, as the comics would have them called.
The good term, you mean?
Yes. Well, the stones, in the beginning, Wong was like, here are these 6 stones, and they each control an aspect of
the universe.
the universe. And so, they control in each reality, like soul and reality.
Power, time.
Power, time. I said reality again, dang it.
Say reality one more time, and it might get us
Reality.
3. No.
It heals 3 times.
Well, I'm out of said it 3rd time.
And so, it's funny because every time Thanos acquires a stone, he uses it in the next scene.
They did a good job with that.
That was nice.
And the only thing I didn't really see using next to was the Soul Stone much. I mean, until he tried to turn the things into bats, and then Strange, he tried to seek his true soul nature.
Yeah.
I feel like I would have wanted to know more about the Soul Stone, because, that's the stone the MCU hasn't explained in depth.
Very true.
And so, and then they're like, here you go. And it's just does random weird stuff.
I mean, I know that the reality for the 4th time stone was introduced in...
We call it the R Stone.
The R Stone, yes. The Rosetta Stone. It was introduced in the worst MCU movie, Thor: The Dark World.
It didn't even, it's funny because, it wasn't even used.
It wasn't really explained, and that's...
in Infinity War, the Reality Stone's definitely seen, and you're like, oh, so that's what it can do. But it's in Thor: The Dark World, it's this
blood
gooey,
tornadoes.
yeah, blood tornadoes and gooey stuff, and you're like, what does it do? And it's I don't think the Reality Stone itself made the portals, it's just the convergence that did in Thor 2.
Well, remember the goal of the Dark Elves was to create darkness.
I guess.
So that is an aspect of reality.
Yeah, I guess, but you don't see it used at all.
No,
I'm just-
Other than just
blood
making
tornadoes.
doesn't make blood tornadoes.
I'm not defending the Dark Elves.
The only thing I would have wanted, as far as Infinity Stones, to be a little more explained was the Reality Stone. Because in some scenes it's only, the same way Loki would use, hallucinations and these fake tricks, and in other scenes it is changing reality.
True.
And if it can change reality, why do you need the other stones? You're just wasting your time catching them up. So either Thanos is an idiot, or we don't know what's going on.
The Reality Stone could be called the Cinematic Stone.
The cinematic stuff.
Yes. I feel like the reality stone though only can control only that certain aspect of quote unquote reality. So it's be like, for instance, it can't control time.
Yeah.
Like it can't control that's the thing though. The stones
It's very vague.
the stones can contradict each other. So like you could be like, oh, Josh right here is like very weak. And then you could be like, reality is he's buff, and then he's buff. So we don't need the power stone to buff him up. Like, which is weird. Like, why do
exactly?
Like, you need to explain more why you need all of them together.
Exactly.
But I mean, from the comics, we just know that because it's just whatever.
Do you think they overuse exposition? I'd heard that one before, and I didn't. Upon reflection, I didn't really see it, but I'd heard that opinion a couple times.
It would again be a time thing.
Yeah.
Like 2.5 hour movie, 2 hour 45-minute movie. Like, yes, there was a lot that needed to be explained, but
with the time limit they had.
Yeah, there's like two big audiences with Marvel movies. There's like the casual Marvel fan,
and then there's us nerds.
That sold our soul.
Nerds that talk about it later on a podcast, like about a year later after it's no longer relevant.
Hey, Endgame's just around the corner.
Oh boy. You know what? This is for before Captain Marvel, the movie that only won.
I really don't want to watch it, but I feel like I have to watch it.
I enjoyed that. Hot takes.
It doesn't look like a good movie. Like, I just don't want to. The only reason I watched Black Panther is because I thought the Soul Stone was in there. It turned out to be pretty good.
No Soul Stone, sadly.
No, Jude Law. That's the only reason why I'm even barely.
I don't even care about him. I don't want to see the movie.
I want to see what.
Brie Larson has like the same face in every scene, and it doesn't change, and it's cringy.
It's because she's a consistent character. She's very good at playing the
Thor in
consistent
the Dark
character.
World.
Yes, the greatest Thor movie. Do you think Thor's too chill about Loki's death? He does initially get very upset, but then later he makes it such a joke with the Guardians. Like, oh, I lost my brother, it's fine. Moving on.
I feel like he was stung so many times that now that it's real, I guess it hurts him, like, that, it hurts him like it would really hurt somebody to lose him. But I guess he's so used to him dying that he's like, oh, he's just dead. Well, he's like for real this time, but he's like, oh, he's just dead. Like he even says in his little goofy thing, like, I'm pretty sure it's legit this time, but oh well.
That's another driving factor of Thor is like, this is the one time we see like a true rage in Thor.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have, as a soldier, you don't have time to mourn the dead until after the war. Infinity War.
Oh my God.
So probably like an Endgame, when Captain America's crying about Bucky, we'll see some godly tears from Thor.
If he's a robotic guy. You'd see one tear from one eye.
Did you guys find it weird that the big guy with Squidward disappeared? A fake Hulk, bad Hulk.
No.
Abomination?
Whatever. No. Big and Stormbreaker wielding.
No, what's his name?
Is it the Cull Obsidian?
Yeah, it is Obsidian. That's right.
Obscenity?
Infinity?
Obsidian.
Do you think it was weird that he showed up again at the end with no real explanation how he got back? Because I
feel like he just walked throughout the whole movie and then eventually came back to New York. He's like, so let me go back up now.
So he did the thing Batman did in Justice League when they all fought Superman. Then, like, after the entire fight, he just walks up later.
Yeah. No, I feel like, I don't know, like, they have that donut thing flying around, so maybe they just found
him.
There's probably a good 30 space donuts on Earth at that point.
I don't know.
Do you think it was weird that they were able to find the exact location of every Infinity Stone on Earth?
I think it would have been cool, yeah, if we had, like, aliens invade, we think it's, like, the Battle of New York again, and the heroes show their hand.
Yeah, and then they figured it out.
Yes.
Yeah, that could have been nice.
Because did Thanos have, like, an Infinity Stone detector? Like,
yeah. And, like, I think the stones call out to each other, but they weren't carrying the stones with them.
Yeah, I feel like, well, I mean, I'm pretty sure, well, he'd have to know that that one stone was on Xandar. I don't know how, but he just does. He destroys Xandar to get it, and then, like, he uses that stone to figure out where the other ones are.
Yeah.
And which doesn't make any sense, because he goes
wasn't there.
Yeah, he sends his children, he's like, go find the stones, and he's like, I have the stone, though, so you don't know it.
You won't figure it out. Have fun searching an entire planet, nerds.
Yeah, they did an efficient job.
They did it within 5 seconds.
I know.
Do you think it's weird that characters... I know it's a comic book movie, and it's a movie, so it kind of does need to be convenient, but do you find it weird that characters conveniently show up for everything?
I mean, it's
At
a
the
comic.
exact
It's
moment.
like a comic thing, and it is a movie, so we need it to be convenient.
Yeah.
You gotta give us an example.
Like, okay, for example, although it was probably the best scene in the entire movie, Captain America showing up is at the exact moment they're under attack in the exact subway they were showing up at. And
I like
he was standing there waiting for them to show up.
I
in that
just
subway.
love that. He just stands there and he's looking at
He
Vision
checks-
get beat up, and he's like,
Yeah, he's just
I'm
checking
waiting
his
for this train.
watch.
He's like, I'm waiting for this train to pass real quick, and then she throws her staff in, like, okay, time to move out.
When the train passes, Q stepping into light.
Listen, hate all you want, but when you're showing up on opening night and 400,000 women and me get to see a bearded Chris Evans looking like a snack, you're gonna get a little excited.
I don't know. I'm more.
Well, what was the question again?
I was gonna say characters conveniently showing up for everything, like at the exact moment they need to.
I feel like that's the only time he showed up for me.
That's the only time Captain America should. No, but it just seemed very interesting for scenes like that. But I think that's consistent with just about every Marvel movie or superhero.
I mean,
movie.
I don't think I could find any other scene in the movie where that happens.
See, I would say Spider-Man, except they at least give a logical reason why
Yeah,
he showed up. He's like, there's a donut in space. Let's jump out the window. Do you think they should have reordered the deaths in the movie?
Well, like some people should die.
I feel like
Some people should die
at last.
Like, after the
Fighting
snap.
alongside the Avengers. Throwing
Like-
daggers and everything.
Oh, no. Like,
Dude, imagine if Loki and Doctor Strange teamed up and they all come themselves.
that's all we wanted. That's all we
That's
ever
all we
wanted.
wanted.
And they took that away from us. Do you think they should have reordered the deaths after the snaps? Or snaps?
There's multiple snaps.
There's one.
Drops phone.
In the interest of professionalism, I'm going to drop my phone in a second.
But it goes to person. No, but I don't know. Spider-Man's death was definitely emotional. I feel like
I think at the same time, you two.
Okay,
We'll learn
Josh,
podcast etiquette
let
later.
me take your brain for a second. Be dumbfounded.
Your mind stone.
No, let me. So it's like I feel like out of all the deaths, Bucky was the most touching.
I mean, honestly.
All he said was Steve and disappeared with his arm.
No, but in all seriousness, Spider-Man's death was definitely the most touching. And when the snap first happened, we had the same question as Thor, like, what did you do? Like, we have no idea what just happened. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, from comic book knowledge, everyone's supposed to have people.
I mean,
die.
from trailer knowledge, you know exactly what.
And the thing is, I feel like if you would have tied Spider-Man's anxiousness and like not knowing this to that beginning, and just connected that really well, and then have all the other characters die, and yeah, I feel like it would definitely been a little bit more impactful.
Yeah.
Because you're like, we don't know what's going on. Spider-Man doesn't. Oh wait, he's dead. And then this guy starts dying, and then this guy starts dying.
Because I would have said
And
the
then
exact same
Ant-Man
thing.
pops out of nowhere.
No, he's dead too. Okay. No, I would have said the exact same thing. Put Spider-Man first. Because he's very, I don't know what's going on, what the heck, after watching everyone else die and knowing exactly what's going on. And with it being the most touching, at that point I wasn't buying it because everyone else had died. And I was like, these guys are coming right back.
I feel like because Spider-Man's life was more emotional, when they put it at the end, they kind of milked that out because like we already know what was happening. He's like, I don't feel so good. I'm like, oh, when we all know already. Oh, he's dead.
That could have been very shocking though, having in the first one too.
Oh yes.
Josh?
No, having
Thoughts?
Drax gone first.
I'm just crying.
having Drax. I mean, Drax didn't really vanish, did he? Because he's always invisible.
That's true. That is
I
true.
mean, he's like Quill. He's like, I'm just using my powers.
Drax confirmed in Endgame.
In fact, he's in every scene of it. That
We just
trailer,
don't know.
always there. So,
So back to the topic.
in closing up,
Deaths.
because that's all the points we have. After talking about everything we've already gotten, if you could change only one thing from this entire
That's his
movie,
hair.
we know what Sebassmo chose. What would it be?
I don't know.
It'd be a small or big change.
I feel like I would have Okay, so what was the end credit scene again?
End credit scene was
Nick Fury.
Nick Fury and
I feel like if they threw that into the movie, it would have been interesting. And then have like someone like the Fantastic Four show up, or like the X-Men, or at least part of them, because most of them are dead.
just half
Except
Jack.
Wolverine, he just keeps fizzing
Yeah,
away, and he just
It's
keeps
just
walking.
a constant buffering.
Yeah. but yeah, I feel like if you cameo, and I get it that I guess Marvel didn't close the deal yet, but like they could have teased that some other heroes or potentials besides stinking Captain Marvel,
Yeah.
which apparently is supposed to be the
Most
strongest.
powerful, powerful.
I'm sensing a lot of bias from my two co-hosts.
Okay, Josh, what's the one change
If you don't
would
sense
make?
any bias, you are wrong.
Oh my gosh.
Here's the one thing, and I thought they were going to do it when I first saw the movie, and it would have. The term hurt so right. There is the fact of when we first see Thanos at the farm,
Mm-hmm.
I legitimately swore thinking it was Hawkeye's farm.
When I saw that, I was like, oh no, not Hawkeye.
I
You
just
put that
want-
at the end.
I just wanted it, like, no context, just panned through the house and just see dust everywhere.
Because I feel like that would have been a good move. Because like in Endgame, you're probably gonna see him with his family.
Opening
Snap
scene.
happens, he's gone. It's not gonna hit you as hard because you're like, oh, like that.
Everybody's been dead
no,
for years.
now he's gone.
It's
too.
just like showing, like, getting nitty gritty about being like, hey, this guy wasn't even in the fight, but
Yeah.
he's experiencing it too.
and it's like, it's just another guy or another people who dead, and like we can empathize with them unless the Russos find some clever way to do it. But like, I don't think they can because like, the motion was left in Avengers Infinity War. And,
You
like,
needed it in that time.
and you needed it then. Like, I don't think you can bring that in because they were originally supposed to be like one. Like they wrote it as one whole movie.
Yeah.
But like they were
They
supposed
did
to cut
just
it
put
with
it up.
they were supposed to cut it with the snap, and I feel like Hawkeye definitely should have been a part of that, even if he wasn't anywhere in the movie, like Nick Fury or Maria Hill. Like,
Yeah.
they should have just done that.
That would have been a good one. Actually, if they would have done that, I would have cried. Like, I did not cry in that movie. I would have cried seeing that.
You cried seeing Spider-Man.
I think
There was a lot of emotional baggage.
you just cried at everything. You saw Thanos walk in and you cried
I was applauding when I first saw Thanos.
and cried.
And crying when I saw
Of
his
joy.
eyes.
I think my only change would be putting Spider-Man first in the movie.
Mhm.
In this death sequence, that would have been probably more impactful.
What was my change again?
Thanos' hair, remember?
No, I don't think so.
He was putting Hawkeye. Or wait, no, that was you.
No, that was
I don't. What was your change?
That's what I'm
You
trying to
didn't
do.
even give it.
We'll look back at the.
Oh no,
clip.
yeah, no, like in like the cameos of like.
Oh yeah. That's right. That's right. Well, thank you for the whole 2 listeners we have.
Hey, you two boys or girls, we appreciate you. Specifically you,
The listener,
the
but
listener.
both of you.
All 2 of you.
If you come to us, we'll give you hugs.
If you say hi, I probably won't recognize you. So introduce yourself. We love you guys.
Don't, you know what? If it's me, don't introduce yourself. Give me a pat on the back and tell me how bad this is. Thank you for Peace out. Peace. Do you want to say goodbye? Josh? Goodbye.